get into then.
That's some really good tea.
Is it?
Wow.
I need to go onto the channel. I've never done this not scheduled before.
Yeah, I feel like we should have.
We should have prepped this better.
Yeah.
Talk to strangers. That's us right there. Oh, look, there we are.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. Close. Okay. Let's just see how this works.
Okay.
Happy Friday, everybody. We are over on Stranger Comics on YouTube,
Yes.
and today we're going to be talking a little bit about.
We're going to be talking about the beginning of Asunda. You guys have heard about Asunda and Niobe and the Untamed for years now, but like, what's the in the beginning, right? In the beginning, before there was Asunda. So we're going to get into that today. And me, not only working for Stranger, I'm a fan of Stranger, and I've been curious about this particular subject matter. So Seb is going to literally take us from the beginning and how it trickles all the way down to where we're at now.
That's where I'm going.
That's where you go. We're going straight from the beginning.
I feel like this camera up here, we need to lower it because we're looking up super high to Instagram and super low to YouTube. It's a lot. It's a lot of technical difficulties we're working on right now. So, but we're going to be getting into the creation of the world of Asunda. So we have 2 people on YouTube. Let me see who these people are. Is anyone no one's left a comment yet? Stage there. Look at that.
We're doing this up.
All right, keep going. All right, fuck it. Stop. There we go. Oh my god, I've been swearing too much for YouTube, or I keep forgetting.
Right, bro.
Yeah.
There we go. Cool.
All right, look at that. Yeah. We're a little bent, as they say.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Look at that. Now we're all cozy. We have 3 people. We just leveled up on YouTube watching us live, and I look really warm on Instagram. I look really cold on YouTube. What's up, Jay? What's up? I don't know. I just think StreamYard helps me. What's up? Hello, Night Mystical. Happy Thursday or Friday even. So we're going to be talking about the creation of the world of Asunda. This is the one we're getting into tonight in advance of the creation of the world of Asunda on the Kickstarter next Saturday.
Yeah.
So what kind of questions you got?
So like I have my notes. So like
I see that.
Yeah, as you take us through the beginning of how everything got started, like how did Asunda get created? How did Niobe and Vassar get started? Like literally the beginning. That's what I want to know. That's what the people want to know.
It's really
intense.
I'm
going to be taking notes as you go. So let's start from the beginning. So there's nothing but black.
Is that black?
Or maybe or it's a white canvas. Black canvas, white canvas, mixed canvas. You know what I'm saying? What happens?
A biracial canvas.
Okay.
Hashtag. Hello. Hey guys in the chat. We're going to get into tonight. Yeah, the beginning. Well, the beginning was I was a young lad in England.
No, bro.
No, just the creation.
No, like Asunda.
Oh yeah, but this is how it began. This is the beginning
of your reality.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's your reality in these books, but I'm just talking about just from the stories, like Asunda, the mythological world.
Okay. Just forget how it's. Okay.
Wait, okay, go ahead.
No,
keep it
fine.
brief. No, go for it. Keep it brief.
Keep it brief. Okay, brief is good.
In the brief.
In the brief. There was an inn, and there were 5 adventurers. No, okay. So basically, Niobe was created in England when I was a boy, and I was creating I wanted to create a world where I could kind of hide within. I could kind of see myself represented. All that kind of cool hashtag diversity stuff, but it was real, and this is like so many years ago.
Yeah. And
the world itself started to grow around Niobe. I started populate different areas within the world of Asunda, in where she could explore and so on. But it wasn't until much late. We always say as Niobe grew. I grew with her, or she grew with me, and the world grew around her, and so on. The actual, if you want to get into the mythos, which I think you're getting to, the mythos is the world of Asunda. All started with a dragon.
A dragon. It started with a dragon.
I did get a haircut, true. It all started with a dragon. a dragon named Isu.
Isu.
Isu is essentially the universe. And Celebrius is eternity.
Okay.
And I wanted to kind of play with two different themes. One is magic and essence, and the other one is spirit and faith. So you've got essentially these two extreme kind of polar opposites of like mana and magic and that kind of belief, old world dragons and pagan stuff. And you've got the other stuff where people kind of lean into kind of the spiritual aspect in faith and gods and those types of things.
So Isu is the
mother dragon. Isu is the dragon. She's the mother dragon, and she is essentially the universe. So yeah, a lot of folks, and Quincy really likes to kind of nerd out with this stuff because most of you guys know us from our kind of like these stories contain stories, but there's a giant universe that goes beyond into the celestials and all that kind of cool stuff.
So Dragon Isu,
Dragon
mother.
That's the mother, the mother dragon. Yep.
Celebrius is eternity.
Is eternity, and that's the father.
That's the father. These both are dragons.
Nope. Celebrius is eternity, is a god.
Is a god. So we have a Dragon Isu, the mother, and then the father is Celebrius of eternity, and he's a god. So we have a dragon and a god.
Yep.
So we have mom, dad.
Mom and dad.
Okay. Are you guys sticking with us? All right. I love this. Okay, cool.
So mom and dad, essentially, it's essentially the universe is traveling throughout eternity, and they essentially, it's a concept of how is creation made. And what I wanted to kind of play with the two different themes. One is what happens when these two essentially philosophies kind of mate, and is that the Big Bang? What is the Big Bang? So essentially what some of the philosophies are, one is they mate and their planetary eggs are left behind.
Planetary eggs.
Planetary eggs.
Do you how clever is that? The planets are actually eggs.
Eggs, yeah.
That's fantastic. That's creative. That's amazing.
So basically, Celebrius, the universe. Sorry, Celebrius eternity. Celebrius eternity. The father god, the spirit god, mates with Isu, the mother dragon, the universe, and she essentially becomes pregnant.
Yes.
And in order for her to kind of complete her pregnancy and deliver these eggs, she creates other dragons.
So Isu creates other dragons.
Other dragons.
Okay.
And you have the four elements essentially that were needed to make these planets, these eggs. And these are the elements. You have fire, air, earth, and water. The four elements of the dragons: fire, air, earth, and water. So you have Thar, the dragon of fire.
Okay.
You have Fway, the dragon of air.
Yep.
You have Grom, the dragon of earth. And what other? Fire, air, earth, water. Thank you. Krus. Krus is the dragon of water and ice.
Yes.
All right. So you've got these four elemental dragons.
Yes.
So once Celebrius plants his seed within her, then in order for the passing of the child, the egg to come out, she basically has to mate with four other dragons. So she's getting busy. She's getting busy with a god, and then she's getting busy with four other dragons.
Four other dragons. So she had an egg. So she had an egg with Celebrius, the god of eternity.
Yep.
And then
they can essentially fertilize it elementally.
Oh, okay. So
he plants his seed on her egg,
right?
And then they fertilize it elementally within.
Right.
So, and then she gives birth to these planets.
It's kind of like, well, what do you call them? Like when a woman gives birth, and you have the other woman.
Surrogate?
No. She's she helps.
Oh, she's the midwife.
Is that kind of like?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, not the midwife. No. Jesus, dragon train. Oh, good Lord. Of course, there's Josh not checking his social medias. Jante Dread on IG says, I too hope to get busy with gods and dragons. Can you do me a favor? Can you text Josh that we're on IG? And that's just jacked up. Look, the entire IG situation.
I think it's fine, bro.
This is blinking. Oh, there, we're back. We're back.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good. So you've got this essentially this situation where Isu is then traveling throughout her universe. She is the universe, and she's laying planetary eggs throughout the universe. And one such egg is Asunda. So let's see the folks that are on the YouTube. I can show you coming up from the next Kickstarter, the next comic. Let us show you what that might look like. All right, there you go. So essentially, they create planetary egg, and you will show you from the inks too, because then you'll see it on the far left. All right, there you go. There's Isu traveling. Right, you see the dragon there, the fiery dragon, traveling throughout the cosmos, throughout herself essentially, and she's laying these planetary eggs. And one such egg is Asunda. And no alcohol was involved, indeed. The other two dragons she creates are in order to light the path of herself and also kind of keep the balance of the planets in check. And one is the dragon of the sun, and one is the dragon of the moon.
Okay, so let's do a recap here.
Yep.
Okay, so we have dragon. So we have Isu, who's the dragon of the universe.
Correct.
Right. That's the mother. We have Celebrius, the god of eternity. That's the father. Mm-hmm. Right. They have essentially an egg together. Right. Yep. Isu, the dragon of the universe, she creates 4 dragon elements: fire, air, earth, water.
Right.
And they're like the caretakers of that egg.
Correct.
That Isu and Celebrius, universe and eternity, had. Right.
Correct.
Okay. So that egg is Asunda.
One of the planetary eggs.
It is one of the planetary eggs.
Yep.
So you have Asunda, and you have all the other planets.
Earth.
Earth and all these other.
I hear there's like other religions, like Zeus and
okay.
Who's the other guy? Odin's son. God on earth here, right. For the Christian. Yeah. In Asunda, it's Isu and it's
Celebrius. Okay. Yeah. So the elemental dragons, they are the caretakers of these planets that are eggs that Isu is laying throughout space, basically, right?
Correct.
And so now you have all these planets, all these eggs. So she creates 2 more dragons. One, the sun.
The sun,
which is
Zun.
The Zun.
Zunn.
Zunn.
Now you guys are going to get all this. A lot of that information, the creation of Asunda, is going to be in Niobe and Asunda issue 2 on the Kickstarter. So make sure you hit the link. Go to strangercomics.com. Get on the Kickstarter. A lot of information in the creation of the world is on that campaign.
Yes. So then she creates sun, which is Zun, and then the moon, which
Maga.
is
Maga. Now I named this moon Maga actually after my son's mum's cat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How'd that come about?
She was always yelling at the cat.
Oh, got you. Okay.
It seemed like a good name. And I named these gods, or I renamed these gods actually. Oh my God, look, again. Hey Jade, we're on YouTube right now. The Underground Life says, is that Simon Cowell? For fuck's sake, I'm not even wearing a polo neck. I'm not Simon Cowell. I like your style though. So basically, yeah, you have the sun and the moon. Zun and Maga.
And what are they doing? Why were they created?
They're created essentially to harness the balance on the planets.
Okay.
And to kind of like how we have our sun and the moon kind of regulating Earth, mm-hmm. the same way, and also for them to light the pathway for Isu traveling throughout the cosmos. Mm. All right. So you've essentially got that as well.
Okay.
Now, essentially, we say that they are like brother and sister.
Okay, so
but they're also traveling around the world of Asunda. So if we go back to that image again, you'll actually see Zun top left.
Yep.
That's the sun, and there's the moon. So if you guys have seen the symbols of Marga and Zun, if you look at Niobe Shear's life, you'll actually see symbolism of Zun, and with it on some of the pillars.
Yes.
There's symbolism that we drop throughout all the comics.
Mm-hmm.
Scarlock, our silver elf who worships Marga, the silver elves, the moon dragon.
Yes.
They have those symbols as well.
Right.
All right. So, yeah.
So Zun and Marga, sun and moon, they're brother and sister.
Yep.
And they are pretty much, I guess, govern the other planets in a sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, I like to play with also kind of for gamers, for D&D gamers, the idea of like what their alignments are, how they are as these godlike beings, these dragons, right? So you have the sun, which I feel is more volatile.
Yes.
So unwieldy. Mm-hmm. So Zun is the fire, is the dragon of the sun.
Yes.
In D&D terms, we would say he is chaotic good.
Chaotic good.
Chaotic good. Dan bought a badge on Instagram. Thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate and love you very much for that. Everybody on Instagram, we are mostly on YouTube tonight. We're sharing the creation of the world of Asunda. Thank you so much. What's up, Hellspawn Cosplay? Make sure you don't forget, guys, Kickstarter next week. We're talking about the creation of the world of Asunda, which we'll be unveiling a lot on Kickstarter. Maybe we should have saved this conversation for StrangerCon. I can add something to talk about.
All right.
Running out of shit to talk about.
Okay. So all right, another recap, guys. I want y'all to stay with me. Okay, again, Isu is a dragon of universe. She's the mother.
Yep.
Then you have the god, which is Celebrius. He's a god of eternity. They had an egg together. They did the thing and they had an egg together, right? The dragon Isu, she creates 4 elemental dragons: fire, air, earth, and water, to be kind of like the caretakers of these eggs, of these planets that are now spread all across space, right?
Correct.
Then from there, and one of those eggs is Asunda.
Correct.
And then from that point on, Isu, she creates 2 more dragons. One is the sun, which is Zun, and one is the moon, which is Maga. They're brother and sister, and they, in a sense, they harness the balance of the planets. Yeah. Kind of like they also light the pathway of Isu herself as she goes through these planets. They kind of govern these planets. Where the elemental dragons, they're the caretakers. Sun and moon, they govern. They
well, once they've kind of essentially, put their elemental spin on the egg. Mm-hmm. And the world is formed. Now the world essentially is made of fire, earth, and water. Right. So right. And then we can kind of lean into the magic side, and on the Marga side versus the Zun side, whereas the sun is chaotic good. If we're talking D&D terms, I would say that the moon is lawful evil.
Lawful evil.
Yes, lawful evil. She is true to her word. She's very calm, cool, and collected, but she's also self-serving.
Got you. And yeah, we know what she does. We'll get into that. Okay, so both of them are created. They have their jobs. What's next?
So basically, well, if we're looking at creation, I would say we can lean into then the lesser gods.
Yes.
So you have your dragon hierarchy with the elemental dragons we discussed, and then you can also say now we have the gods and who they are.
So it's like we know the dragon side, we know their family.
Yep.
I'm about to talk about Celebrius, god of eternity, and his family.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Cool. So let's get into the gods.
So the 2 gods that also were given birth in the beginning were the parent gods, and one is Andarsil, you would say the king of heaven,
Okay.
the king of life, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
and his wife is Madrak, the queen of death. And they are like husband and wife.
Husband and wife.
Yeah, and you kind of look at it where when souls go to heaven, they are judged by Madrak to see where souls form on the pyramid of heaven. So if you think of heaven like this, if you're a soul and you've done really, really good, you're going to kind of dine with the gods at the top of the pyramid of heaven. But it's really, really difficult, and the tip of the pyramid is really, really small. And so you can only really dine with the gods, and most motherfuckers don't do good in life. So depending on where you fall in life, of how well your soul has kind of essentially been a good soul, we'll see where you fall in the areas of heaven, in the kingdom of heaven.
Gotcha.
And if you've done really, really shitty, you're basically at the very bottom. You're cleaning all the refuse that fall down to the very, very bottom. Now that's not hell.
Right.
Hell comes later.
Right. Okay. So where did Andarso and Madrak come from?
They came essentially. I'd say it's from the same place. It's all comes down to Isu and Celebrius.
Yeah. Okay. Got you. So like they were birthed from Isu and Celebrius.
Yes.
So not only did
it's almost like you're saying they're having two children types.
Right.
One is leaning more towards the mother. One is leaning more towards the father.
Okay. So again, guys, Isu, the mother of the universe, Celebrius, a god, so you're dragon god. They have, not only do they have planetary eggs, but then they also birth God. So now you have, this arc of planetary eggs and dragons, and then you have these other kids that are gods, right?
Right.
And so now we're talking about the god side. So those first two is Andarso, king of heaven, and his wife Madrak is the queen of death.
Correct.
Okay, so do they have kids?
They have a lot of kids.
They have a lot of kids. So
they get busy. Okay. They're like, let's make this happen.
So let's get into their family.
Okay, their family tree is so basically the first gods that were born were twins.
Twins.
Now a lot of you guys know one of these gods.
Go.
That is this dude behind me,
Let's
the Untamed.
You see how
so the first gods that were birthed are twins. One is called Arukas, later known as Arukas the Untamed.
And who is Arukas? The devil.
The devil. Right.
The devil.
So the devil and his twin sister are Numina.
Yeah.
So, the symbol.
Oh, we did.
Hey. So that is essentially our Numenel, the symbol that's tattooed on Niobe's back, branded on Niobe's back. That's the goddess of life, one of the goddess of healing, right? Goddess of healing.
Now you say these two are these are the first two guys born from Andarso and Madrak. That's
correct.
The king of heaven and the queen of death. Correct. And they come from Celebrius and Isu.
Yep. So
Arukas, the devil, and Arnumenel, the guys, those are the first two born from.
And I would say if Arnumenel is really the goddess of life, then Arukas the Untamed is the god of unlife. Right? The god of undead and unlife. And that's what he ends up becoming.
Now you say they're twins, but something happens to Arnumenel.
Right. So basically, there's always one that pops out first when you have twins. And essentially what we say is Arnumenel and was pressed against her brother in the womb.
So good.
And half of Arnumenel is literally molten skin because he basically burned with such a infernal intensity that he melted off his half of his twin. Arnumenel is literally melted flesh on half of her side, and the other side of her is the most beautiful angelic being you could imagine.
That's great.
So
I can't wait till we like get that on the
see
cover.
that on the cover?
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Our Numina like half and half because of what her brother being born. You know.
Now, for folks that have seen Niobe She Is Death issue 3, I should be having this already, right? Issue 3, the Jay Lee cover, you see a hint of Niobe pulled, right, in 2 different directions.
Yes.
Where you see half of her starts to look a little disfigured. Half of her is a little lighter.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
the lighter
yeah.
side more Numina, the more disfigured side more going to Vastar, the first undead of the Untamed.
And we'll get there. We're not there yet.
So, not there yet. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, folks that are joining, we're talking a lot about, especially on, if you go on YouTube, we're talking a lot about the creation of the world of Asunda and those types of things. So if you miss it, I'll have to rewrite what this broadcast is called, the creation of the world. Right?
Yes.
Especially just before we launch our Kickstarter, which shows so much of the creation of the world.
Yeah.
So now you're in. So these two gods are born.
Yes.
Arukas just comes out a little bit before Anumenel.
Yes.
And there comes Anumenel. Essentially the concept of the first angel, first demon type god.
Yes.
The next god that comes out is
from Andros.
Yep. These are all from these 2. These gods get busy. These are the gods.
Okay.
Next one that comes out is Powesian.
Powesian. Let's go. And y'all guys heard of Powesian?
Powesian. So if you haven't seen or if you know the comics, Powesian, you'll see a leaf-like symbol. Now and again, that figures throughout the world of Asunda, a leaf-like symbol. Powesian is the god of nature, and essentially he's charged with being a shepherd to help essentially nurture the spirit beings on the world of Asunda.
The spirit beings,
yeah.
Got it. Oh, so, yep.
So that's basically Powesian. And the next god is we have the next god, and that is Astudantus. Astudantus is the god of knowledge and lore. And we essentially say Astudantus is a asexual or has no sex.
Okay. Cool.
So Astudantus has no sex.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool.
So just very lawful, very neutral, very like Zen. And then the 4th god is Urzog.
And he's
the god of war.
The war, right? Yeah.
The god of war and strength and all that kind of cool shit. And the next god we have is Questa. And no one knows what sex Questa is because they dance between the sex they want to be. Questa is known as essentially the god of I would say mischief, but the god of fate. I'd say Questa is the god of fate. Yeah.
And it could be any sex, but they want at any point in time.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Cool.
And if you I'm tripping. I forgot. There's one actually in between Astudantus and Urzog. I was like, I knew there was one, and that's Metheriel.
Oh, Metheriel. Okay.
The god of the mount, the goddess of the mountains.
The goddess of the mountains.
Yes, the goddess of the mountains.
And she is
essentially the craftsman, the maker. So Metheriel is the craftsman. She is the maker. She's the one that makes shit. So basically, the dwarves, exactly.
So she's the god of the dwarves.
Of the dwarves, yeah. So Powesian is known as the father of the elves. And Metheriel is known as the mother of the dwarves. Yeah, a lot of nerdy stuff going on right now. So thanks for tuning in on the live. I appreciate that, guys. In advance for what's coming for StrangerCon.
Yeah, so we're getting into a lot of guys that you guys haven't heard about yet. I mean, obviously you heard about Aerocast and Arnuminel and Poison, obviously, but like a lot of these other guys gonna have huge roles as we continue to grow this story. So we have one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7 gods so far.
And there's one more god.
One more god.
One more god. And this god is Idrazor.
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 He's the one.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So wait till we get into the battle, right? How did Arakash fall from where he was into hell, right? A lot had to do with Idrazor. So let's go.
Idrazor is essentially the god of law and justice. Jocelyn says Mithril is the asexual one. No, the asexual one is Astudantis, the god of knowledge
and lore.
Mithril is female, and she is the maker. She is the goddess of the dwarfs, the mother of the dwarfs.
Yeah, and Quester can be any sex you want to.
Right. They want to.
They want to any point in time.
There you go.
Right.
So basically, that's so. And Idrazor is the only god that is actually no. There's another god. I'm tripping.
Oh, here we go.
All right. So there's two gods that were deified. One is Idrazor, the god of law and justice. A lot of knights and paladin type dudes, they worship Idrazor. Like, give me courage, etc., etc. Law and justice, all that kind of cool stuff. The other god is Ashnukarim.
Ashnukarim, right.
AKA Schnuck.
Schnuck. And he's the orcs.
The orcs.
Let's go.
So Schnuck is the god of Morkamoa. If you know Morkamoa, he's Morkamoa's dude. The god of the orcs. Another one deified. And that is the god of hate. The god of wrath and hate. Yeah. Otherwise known as the Jade Lord.
Right.
And we'll get into the backstory, but Idrazor and Ashnukarim are brothers.
They are?
They are brothers, yeah. And
they're
both deified.
So Ashnukarim Schnuck.
Yep.
AKA Schnuck, right?
Yep.
He's the J Lord.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay, so gotcha.
And it was Madrak, the goddess of death.
Yes.
That deified Idrazor. And Arukas the Untamed, after he fell from grace, went into hell, deified Ashnukarim. And Ashnukarim said his name when he became essentially the orc god. He lost his ability to speak properly, so he can only say Schnuck.
Got you.
He's now just so full of rage he can't even use wrong words. He's just like Schnuck, you know.
Got you. All right, so let's do a quick recap. It's a lot of information, guys. Okay, so the beginning, right? Isu is a dragon. She's the dragon of the universe. Then you have Celebrius. He's a god. He's a god of eternity. Mother, father. They have an egg, right? They have this planetary egg. Isu creates 4 elemental dragons to be the caretakers of these planetary eggs that Isu is birthing throughout space, right? And then she also creates 2 more dragons, Zun and Maga, sun and the moon. They're brother and sister, and they're pretty much they govern, you know what I'm saying, the planets, right? Like they harness the balance of those planets, right? So you have that, right? But not only do Isu and Celebrius give birth to these planetary eggs, they give birth to other gods. The first 2 gods being Andarso, king of heaven, and Madrak, she's the queen of death, husband and wife. Their first 2 kids are twins. That's Arakash, the devil you guys know, and his twin sister Arnumina, the goddess of light, right? Then second you have Quincy. He's the father of the elves, right? Then you have Astudantis. He's a god of knowledge and lore. And then you have, in between there was Mithril, right?
Right. And Astudantis is a they because they don't have a sex.
Yes, Astudantis is they because they don't have a sex. And then you have Mithril is the mother of the dwarves.
Right. The maker, and also known as the maker. She's the crosswoman. The crosswoman.
And then you have Urzog. He's the god of war and strength. Then you have Quester. They can be any sex they want to be. He's the god of fate. Right. And then you have Idrazor, who was deified by Madrak, the Queen of Death, right? The mother, right? And you have Ashnu Karam, aka Snook, aka the J Lord, was deified by Erocast. After Erocast fell from the top all the way to hell, but we'll get to that. So that's everything. So that's where we're at right now, guys. I hope I'm not getting too confusing. If you have questions, please, give us your questions. So from that point on, those are the guys that were birthed. Now moving on.
I think one more kind of like tidbit for this, and we can save another chunk for maybe next time.
Okay.
Right? Because
like the battle.
So basically, the battle.
Yeah, like how did Erocast get down there? How did blah blah? But we'll stop it right there, and we'll save that part for.
You want to say the battle now?
You want to? No, we can say the battle for the next one.
Yeah. Let's say the next one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let's finish all the way up until the point where.
Okay. Erocast fell. Okay, so basically, the world's created, and the gods. We'll get into the earth at another point. The world itself and the spirit beings being born and all these types of things being born and so on. But essentially, spirit beings were being born on different planets. And Arukas was the prettiest, the strongest, the most worshipped. And his head kind of swelled. And he believed that he could actually do a better job running heaven than his parents. And his vanity really, really got the better of him. So after a certain point, he went to his grandfather, Celebrius, and Celebrius kind of put him in his place and said, no, this is the order of things.
Well, even before we get there.
Yeah.
I think we should say that too, like
okay,
like Erocast, his motivation thing like that.
Yeah,
I thought you were headed to the point where because like issue 2 of Niobe is coming out.
Yeah.
So leading into Niobe and Vastar, and
but this is before that. Erocast falls before that, and then creates hell.
When does
when Vastar's worshipping, Erocast is still up in the heavens.
Right. So after we talk all about the gods, right? When did they come into place? Because like my thing is, I want to like get that before we even get into what Erocast did to.
Oh, you mean as far as like Dura and Vastar?
Right.
Okay. So basically, Dura and Vastar are essentially the two beings that, and you can see it just a little bit here, guys, which is in the second issue. A lot of you guys have seen this, but I'll just share it with you here. There you go. So basically, there is Dura and Vastar. Essentially, these two beings, these twin beings that are essentially almost avatars, representations of Arukас and Arnuminel. And they essentially went about creation, world creation, setting the creation into place.
Who created them? Where did they come from?
That you can say they're almost like angels.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a manifestation again. It's of lesser gods, demigods, lesser beings that fall well below the head pantheon of the gods. But these gods want a company, so they're going to create representations of themselves and their own vanity and go, okay, I'm not going to go down to earth and make this shit. Here's a manifestation of me.
Gotcha.
You go forth and you do my work.
Got you. So Dura and Vastar are manifestations of Erocast and Arnuminel.
Right.
And
I would say they're like angels that were born in the image thereof.
Okay. And
they're like lesser celestial beings.
Okay. And the reason for that? Like, what were their jobs?
It's creation. Like essentially get the world going. Okay. Get the world going. The planetary eggs have been dropped, and who is going to get the world going?
Got you. And so Dura she had the Ilkor to do.
So basically, both Vastar and Dura are given Ilkor. Both Vastar and Alison has a great question. Who and what are the Isufe? That's a great question. The Isufe are also known as the firstborn, but I'm going to get that in a second. That's a great question, Alison. So essentially, there are different kind of laws on how the world is created, depending on who you listen to.
Right.
Now, in the Niobe and Dura book, you're hearing the tale, and this is the tale I'm telling you, the tale from Dura's perspective.
Right.
And is Dura a reliable or an unreliable narrator? So you're hearing it from her perspective.
Right.
Because she don't want you to know all of her sins. So anyway, Vastar.
We know her. It's gonna get crazy, y'all.
So Vastar is like, they both get these 2 seeds of Ilkor, and the gods are like, go make shit, and also figure out a pathway between heaven and earth. So when souls die, they have an easy pathway to go from earth to heaven.
Got you. So that's their job.
That's their job.
And what is Ilkor?
Ilkor is a seed of life, a seed of creation. It's in its purest form.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the Ilkor, so Vastar takes his Ilkor and he bolts. He's going around. He's like, all right, I'm gonna make some.
And this is in Niobe issue 2. That's on
the Kickstarter.
The Kickstarter, guys. What he's about to talk about right now.
So yeah, you'll see some of that stuff again, just to kind of show it to you again. There you go. You've got Vastar. Vastar is on the left, and he is making like sculptures and various things. He's making things. He's making statues and temples. He's trying to honor his parents. He's trying to honor the gods, essentially. Whereas Dura does something completely different with her Ilkor. She places her Ilkor into the earth, and from which life springs. All right. And on the Kickstarter, on StrangerCon, I'll show you more of those pages. So make sure you tune in for next Saturday to see more of those pages. That's what you're going to get on the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
But Dura, when she creates life, and Vastar's running around, he's making sculptures. He's trying to impress the gods, especially the one in his own image where he was created, which is Arukas, the devil.
Yep.
But his Ilkor power runs out. So he comes on back. He's like, I need some more of that Ilkor. And he sees that essentially the gods have rewarded Dura just by essentially, it's almost Jack and the Beanstalk like. She places a seed in the earth, goes to sleep, wakes up, and the golden tree of life has been erupted and reaches heaven.
Right.
And he's like, I need more of that. So he rips apart the roots, buries down deep, gets her seed of Ilkor, and then starts essentially. And then she wakes up and is freaking out because now the leaves that are falling down, the tree is starting to fall apart.
And Daryl's clever idea about the stuff that's falling from the tree
are essentially the Isufe.
The Isufe.
Yeah.
Allison.
So Alison, to come back around to Alison's question, the Isufe, this is Daryl's idea. Great idea. The Isufe guys are the fairy. They are the firstborn, and they are awoken essentially from this tree, and they're awoken in different forms of elemental beings. They're essentially the Fae. They are the fairies, the very first kind of beings that come to life. On Asunda from that tree.
Yes.
Yep. And you can say they take after Isu, the dragon side, rather than other beings that start to then awaken, like dragons, which are like elemental and spiritual, and the elves, which are the Asiniel, which are spiritual, that take after Paisian, the gods, but they have magic affinity, but the fairies are the firstborn.
Yeah, they're like the atom, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And each Isufe, which, guys, if you don't have this book, you're going to want to get the Pathfinder book, which is also on the Kickstarter. It's also on the website, because we have all the information about the Isufe that are in this Pathfinder book.
There's so much lore and knowledge in this book, guys. Like I get this Pathfinder book and I just read everything just to get filled in with the knowledge, we're telling you now.
Yeah, I got a haircut espresso just in time for StrangerCon. I knew yesterday everyone was telling me I looked exhausted, and I was last night. So I'm not going to be on here for too much longer to burn out on energy.
Right.
But yeah, the Isufe are the firstborn. They're the fairies, and they essentially are different colors representing each element.
Yes.
Fire, air, earth, and water. And there are a few select ones which are gray.
Okay.
And they take after Isu. And the gray Isufe actually can harness all 4 elements at the same time. And you meet one of them in the Assessor comic, throwing down with Bastar.
With Bastar, right.
So if you read the Assessor issue 1,
yes,
you will see all 4 Isufe fighting
Bastar. Got you.
And you see the gray one. So basically, and here's the crazy shit with the Isufe, and what's dope about the Isufe is there are only 50 that can be on the planetary world of Asunda at one time of each element.
Okay.
So let's say you're a fire Isufe, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's only 49. Now the balance of magic and the elements have shifted in the world.
Got you.
Wow. Until another Isufe is born.
Okay.
And they come down supposedly from planet Fesu.
Planet Fesu. This is the first time I'm hearing this. Planet Fesu.
So basically, and that might take years before another Isufe is born. And how are Isufe born? You know those Isu fly that Niobe runs around with?
Right, yeah.
That is where they start.
Oh, snap. Okay.
So an Isu fly
is
our beginning stage of an Isufe.
Gotcha. That's the necklace.
That's the necklace.
And
that's also the blue Isu fly that Niobe runs around with in Niobe Shear's life that Morkamoa eats in issue 4, and that's why he powers up.
Right.
Because a lot of wizards, they go and hunt Isu fly or an Isu Fey of their opposite element. So if I'm a and I want to be really, really powerful as an ice mage,
right?
If I kill a whole bunch of fire Isu Fey and Isu fly, fire dips, ice rises.
Got you.
So there's a ton of bounty hunters and mage killers, and there's I'm sorry guys on Instagram, more phone calls coming in, and I don't know how to hit that notify me off shit. So that was Terrence. Funny enough, I got to call him back. Yeah. But yeah, that's essentially the Isu Fey are the most hunted because their blood is magical. And a lot of items, magical swords, magical, just anything that is made item-wise, magic items, like all these things here, like even these magic swords are often used with the blood, the elemental blood of an Isufe. And some give it willingly and freely, and some are captured and held in captivity and tortured.
Got you.
So the Isufe are a big deal.
They are essential.
Yeah, they're essential to the balance of magic in the world of Asunda. And then it is said that when the Isufe are no more, there'll be no more magic in the world.
That's pretty cool, bro.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we got some deep stories, but we also got some for the lore, the people that are into the lore and the magic and the mythos. We got some really some deep shit there too.
Yeah, and I think that's good. I mean, cause after that, then we get into why are the books laid out the way they are? You know what I'm saying? What happened in heaven? You know what I'm saying? And we'll definitely get into that. And the dragon. What's her name? Isu, right?
Isu. There are two other dragons.
Yeah, there's a.
Okay, so there are two other dragons. And we'll leave you with this. All right, we'll leave you with this. There are two other dragons. We'll leave you with this, guys. Because obviously, if you guys haven't already, you want to go to strangercomics.com and you want to join the Kickstarter next Saturday, and you want to come to StrangerCon, where we have Prentice Penny as a guest and Tahani Farr as a guest. We'll have other guests coming on StrangerCon. So make sure you hit that subscribe. We get 100 likes, and you get a De La Soul exclusive, a whole bunch of fun stuff. So, two dragons. You've got Isu is the mother dragon. She is the universe.
Yeah, the top dog.
Top dog.
Top dog.
Now,
something happens.
Something happens. Do we want to get into that now?
You want to save it, or you want to get?
We can. We'll say. Let's get into just the start of it.
Okay, start.
All right. Okay. So we talked about coming back to Arukast the Untamed, the devil, the firstborn god. The firstborn god's ego, like playing with man ego, the fragility of man ego, once it's set in motion, it needs to be constantly nurtured, or he is broken, or he lashes out. So he goes to his grandfather, Eternity, Celebrius, and says, "Yo, I should be running heaven for you, Granddad."
I think you should
save that,
because then that trickle down into the war and the fight and all.
Okay,
that
all right.
You know what I'm saying?
So
my bad, guys. It'll go good telling that along with the war and how the winnings and the battles.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Two more dragons. How did the devil become the devil? How did Arukast fall from heaven in the world of Asunda to create hell and start waging war, not only in Asunda, but also against heaven itself? And then why is Niobe integral to his mission?
Exactly. So right? Listen, guys. Okay, so this is the cool part, right? Niobe, right? You have the devil, you have Arnumanel. They're both trying to pull her each way, right? But why is that? You know what I'm saying? Why is that? Does Arukast Arnumanel have this beef with each other? Is it a sibling rivalry? You know what I'm saying? How does that come about, right? Like Niobe is she's the protagonist of our whole world. She's the face, right? But there's a lot of other stuff going on that had to happen first to even trickle down to Niobe. Okay, and that's the brilliance of this guy right here. You know what I'm saying? It's huge.
And Daryl and Josh.
And Daryl and Josh and everybody
yourself.
else.
You're bringing all that.
I'm bringing some stuff in. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But this thing is huge. Niobe is the pinnacle, but this thing is huge, guys. And we're just the tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the iceberg. Yeah, for real. Why is Niobe being used? Why do they really want her? It's a lot bigger than your, the basic fighting and becoming a queen. It's like it's ascension and heaven and hell and all sorts of fun stuff.
It's a whole bunch of stuff.
That's why the next comic that Quincy's yelling at me to write is Niobe. She is spirit, and then she is God. So we can get to where that journey is, right?
Yes,
what I'm still, able. I got to get to that shit. So we've got a lot of these wonderful one shots. Quincy had this brilliant idea as well. That is Tales of Asunda. Obviously, you guys have been collecting Tales of Asunda, and we got new Tales of Asunda on the Kickstarter as well. However, if you don't know Niobe, she's deaf by now. Something happens to Niobe. And and what happens to her disciples? So then we have one comic that we're working on right now, which is set in the Asian part of our landscape.
Yes.
It's really, really beautiful. We'll get to see what happens to Niobe's disciples.
Yes.
While Niobe's gone.
Yes.
Before she returns.
And you see her disciples in Niobe Shia's life.
Yes.
Right. So when
and two of them is Shia's death.
and two of them she is deaf.
Yep.
So when Niobe, she is deaf when she, you guys know by now when she dies. Yeah, like Seb said, what happened to her acolytes? So it's gonna give us an opportunity to kind of show more of the world, show more of, just the different characters and just like what are the acolytes doing while she's gone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like still, are they still spreading her word, or have they disbanded? Really will leave that to Seb to decide what
it's exciting
do.
stuff. It's really, really cool. That was Quincy's idea, and some of these one shots are coming along great. But yeah, I got so much writing to do. But it's exciting, and just a huge thank you to you guys that support us on these Kickstarters. And on Thursday lives and all those types of things, because without you, literally, we can't do this shit. So huge thank you to you guys. Keep a lookout. We're gonna be popping on more of these kind of lives.
Yeah, where we just talk.
We're just gonna be talking.
We just talk about the Lord.
Sales.
No sales. Just the Lord. And this video saved, right?
This video saved, yeah.
So you guys can go back on the video if you missed something, just kind of like get an idea of the chronological order of things. And then whoever was on, if you guys want to pass the video and share,
please share the video, for sure.
So other people can get informed as well and get excited. That'll be great. I work for Trends Economy, and I get super geeked about the lore and the knowledge and stuff like that.
Do you know what's something really funny? Just so when we started working with Prentice Penny, who writes Niobe and Asunda with us, who I met at HBO, the very first brainstorming session, he's like, "Tell me about the world," for 2 days solid.
Love it.
It was just the lore, and he got these giant sticky kind of like white papers and started plastering his office. His entire office was literally what we're doing now, the lore of Asunda. So yeah, it was pretty dope. So I was like, oh my god, and I was like, I'd hardly remember like what the fuck we we came up with all those years ago, and still nurturing. So Niobe and Asunda issue 2 that I wrote with Prentice, which is dope. Has world creation that's on the Kickstarter. Don't miss it. You can get the second issue and all the things. If you've done big discounts, all sorts of fun stuff, make sure you share the link. Let's get this Kickstarter popping. Because if you want these stories, and we might get into also writing a lot more prose as well. So
yes.
So Quincy's been writing prose.
Yes, guys. So real quick, I know like everybody, don't read comics, but a lot of people read, novels and prose and things like that. So we have prose all throughout our hardcovers, right? But I was thinking, I should have said, what if we made a book that was nothing but prose? But these prose, they serve a purpose. They connect some of the stories, what I'm saying? Like some of the smaller plot lines together. So I just figured I find those plot lines where I can make small connections that isn't necessary for a comic book, but more so for just a pro. And so I'm gonna write as many pros as I can, and then we can just collect those together and just make a novel of prose.
Yeah, I love it.
And then we'll pinpoint like what the story is connecting. Yeah, where in the history and how they connect, things like that.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So that's it. I'm gonna now. Next week, tune in. I'm going to be uploading the video to the Kickstarter video to our YouTube channel, to our Kickstarter video. Please leave a comment. I saw Allison's comment. Thank you so much, Allison, for leaving a comment on the Kickstarter. If you guys don't have it, check the stories on Instagram. I posted the stories on Instagram that you'll actually start to see the page, so you can make sure you can start planning for the rewards you want. Literally, it's a week from tomorrow. Good Lord. It's coming so quick. Yeah. So thanks so much, guys. We'll leave you with Quincy's favorite part, which is it's the logo, bro.
Yes. I think it's the best logo in entertainment, man. It's clever. It's so clever. Is it going to do actual action?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the button right now. That's how low tech we are. We have a fucking clue. But huge thank you to everybody. See you Thursday. You might see us a bit more before Saturday, but Saturday, tune in. Make sure you don't miss out on the early bird exclusives and the day one free exclusives.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Peace out, everybody. Peace.
Yes, sir. I love it.